Hey, Krusty Crew, Chad with Colorado Giants. I got the tiller hooked up to the BCS. I'm outside. I bet you know what's coming up next. However, suffer through the quick intro and find out. So if you've made it that far, chances are you're interested in giant pumpkins, you're interested in gardening, or you're interested in kind of a homesteady type of trying to live kind of self-sufficiently sort of ish type of way. So if you are interested in that stuff, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and stick around for a little while. But what am I doing today? It's finally time for us to till up the pumpkin patch and work on getting the soil a little bit better than the awfulness that it is now. Emily and I the other day measured out our stakes so that we have a perfectly square on the stakes, so we're ready for the greenhouse. But what I need to do is start to prepare the soil ahead of time. So like I said in the previous video, what I'm going to be doing is tilling this soil in. I'm going to be adding some of the peat moss, and then we're going to be adding some of this these alfalfa pellets over here. So what I'm going to do is first like a rough till, and then I will lay down these amendments, and I'm going to till again. I'll probably even till a total of 3 times to get it really, nice and fluffy. Then it won't happen today just because I don't have the equipment here. But then we're going to move the pile of pumpkin dirt that's in front of me, and on the other side we'll add more peat moss. We'll till again, and then I'm getting a load of compost. We'll get that, and then we'll till yet again. So hopefully when all that is done, we'll have a nice fluffy pile of pumpkin growing dirt. We'll send it off, get a test, and then we'll go from there. But let's get started here. Okay, so that was probably 45 minutes worth of tilling or so. I stopped, met my neighbors over there. That's really cool. They're cool with the greenhouse, and it's looking better. I'm not sure if it will translate on the hyperlapse, but man, hitting some of these pockets of clay where, if I ripped the dirt and I left like a little gully there, that 600-pound, I would imagine it's probably at least 600-pound BCS was just, skipping along. That was interesting. But so looking at the dirt, you can see we're making some progress. I did miss a few spots, I could do right here, but everywhere got maybe 2 or 3 passes, and we're getting there. So now I have to figure out what the best way is to throw down those 35 blocks of peat moss and these 600 pounds worth of, where is it at? 600 pounds worth of alfalfa pellet, because those suckers are heavy, and those are 50 pounds a piece too. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. All right, so with the help of Emily and Maxwell, we got our what do you call it? Our 600 pounds of alfalfa pellets and our 35-pound 3 cubic feet times 35 bags of peat moss out. 35 times 61? These are 61 pounds each. 31 times 60. Hold on one second. All right, so that's 2,735 pounds worth of peat moss and alfalfa pellets that we're going to put down and till in. So I'm going to set up the hyperlapse and, get me kind of spreading this out a little bit. Might be kind of boring, might not include that. We'll see. In case you're wondering what this is, it's my buff. I hate my least favorite element is wind. I'm fine with everything else. I do not like the wind, so I always cover myself up. It's coming from the desert, so keeps me comfortable working in the wind. So let's get this spread out, till it, because it's getting to be about almost 5 o'clock, 4:30 or so, and I don't got all day. Got to get this done. All right, finally that is over. Starting to run out of daylight, but you could see, probably get the general idea of what I'm doing. We're making a cake, and now we're going to mix it all together, because look at these bad spots. It's just, it's just clumps of clay, and I don't expect this to fix it right away. And in actuality, this will probably take me several years to really get the soil, or this dirt, this clay, to soil. But when I add the peat moss, the alfalfa, that's going to add organic matter to the soil and help the dirt become soil. And once we do this step, then we're going to add the pumpkin dirt, more compost, more peat moss, and then the perlite. And then hopefully with those 3-4 more additions, that will get the soil workable this year and put it in a good spot. So now I just got to till, and we'll call it good for today. Whee-wee! And that is enough for today. That was a lot of work, but I'm pretty happy with the results so far. So just to give you context, this is what the patch was. Then we ripped it. In the previous video you saw, it was either step 1 or step 2, where we ripped up the dirt, and now we threw down this peat moss, and we threw down the alfalfa pellet, and we're making progress on turning this clay dirt into soil. So that is the goal, is to get all of this peat moss and eventually compost and soil into the clay and interrupt this this binding up process, because what we don't want is this. So we're trying to break this up. And step 1, or like I said, step 2 or 3, whatever step we're on, pretty good. You can see that lots of tire tracks, and if we run our hand down here, I can dig a hole. I was pushing on the BCS to get it buried as far down as I could go. And we're probably, there's pellets all the way down here at the bottom. That's good. So shoot, I would say that's at least 10 inches. 10 inches or so all the way down. Lots of little rocks and whatnot. Nothing we could do about those. Throw them off to the side. And then, from here, at this 10-inch depth, we're just going to build it back up when we bring in those other amendments. So, appreciate you watching the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, tell a friend. I'm tired. Gonna go in and have a beverage and play with kiddo and put him to bed, but we're making progress. Gotta get rid of this tree. Looks good. Get out there, grow yourself pumpkin, social distancing, all that stuff. We'll catch you next time.